Well, good morning, listeners. You're listening to Lament of Hope blog and podcast. And I'm really excited today. I'm with Maia Morgenstern. She is a Romanian actress in the theater as well as in film. But many of you probably will recognize her face or know her from Passion of the Christ. That's kind of an iconic role. She played the mother of Jesus. And that's kind of been the iconic role that she's known for. But in Romania, she actually has done a whole bunch of different projects. In fact, she's going to be doing a show a couple hours after we finish this interview. Um, Maya, I wanted to ask you, I've always wondered, for you, being known for one particular part, like being known for the Mother of Mary, I mean, being known for Mary, especially for the US audience. Do you like that? Do you like being known for one part, or do you wish that um, there was more
Uh,
versatility there?
well, what can I say? Actually, it's a fact. That's it. It's not my fault. It is like it is. You are too young to remember, but when the film was released, it was a big controversy and a big scandal.
Yeah.
And I still remember what kind of a pressure, and there were moments I was blamed and I was attacked, and it was a big issue even in my country or whatever. And at that age, a controversy lasts more than 3 days, like it is today. We have a scandal 3 days on a social media, and then we forget. It's a sort of a bitter irony, but it's also a fact. That's it. It is like it is. So I'm trying to do my job, my work. I do believe in uh, in acting as a job. I'm trying to work and very very hard, different kind of characters. It is like it is. Well, actually, it's not sad for me, and I'm not sad, and I'm not proud, and I'm trying to do uh, the best I can with the roles, the parts I'm given. Um, I'm working a lot, as you probably understood, in the theater as well. I'm working also in Jewish state theater. I don't know if you are aware, if you know or not. I'm actress in the state Jewish theater in Bucharest. We have, yes, it's quite unique, I would say. I think it's very rare, but it's a state theater, a Jewish
Hmm.
theater. So we are promoting Yiddish culture, Yiddish language. Now our theater now is part of an European project with a title Phony, like the Greek word phony, voice.
Hmm.
It's give, and the motto, the idea is give minorities a language, a voice. So
Hmm.
we are in this project for 2 years now,
Wow.
and yeah, we are working and acting and writing and rehearsing and promote Yiddish culture.
Because
Do
you're
you know?
Jewish, right, Maya?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Jewish. Morgenstern is not a Romanian name. It's a German. Sounds like German, of course, Morning Star. But yes, I'm Jewish. So I'm working in theater, as I tell you now. I am in the National Theatre of Bucharest because soon I'll have a performance, a show written by the author Erich Emanuel Schmid. He's a French, German, Swiss author.
Hmm.
So I'm performing in Yiddish language, I'm performing in Romanian language,
Wow.
and We are Monday today. Yesterday, I had three performances. One was in the morning, very early, Romanian time, 10 o'clock in the morning, outdoor, in the street. It is very hot now, but at
Yeah.
10 o'clock, it was all right. And there were a lot of children in the street. It's with music well, and the second show was at 11:30 in State Jewish Theater, Teatrul Evreiesc de Stat. It is a play, it is a show. Actually, it's about my life, written by me. Written by
Wow.
me. Listen, let me be very specific. I'm not trying to present myself as a theater writer. No, no, not at all. From time to time, especially when I'm hurt and I suffer, and I used to write different stories. It's a sort of an answer I want to give, but instead of that, memories come to the surface. Uh, they come from my childhood.
Hmm.
They are recalling something from my childhood, from the moment the time I was a teenager. So there are little stories. I post them on Facebook. Depends. So two of my colleagues uh, took all these stories, saved them, and they published. They found publishing an editor, I don't know in English, a house. There are three books now already, three volumes. And it's a sort of, now speaking about the performance with the name, that's not me. This is a title of the performance.
Hmm.
Nu sunt eu. No is no, sunt to be, not me, this is not me.
Hmm.
But it's shorter in Romanian, makes sense. That's not me. It's like, no, it's not me, somebody else. So it was at 11:30 and the house was full. I didn't even expect such a huge amount of audience at 11 o'clock in Bucharest. Well, and in the evening, I had another performance. So in that performance, that's not me, with the title "That's Not Me," I'm telling stories of my childhood, of my teenager time. And it is also a story, a moment when I say the day, the day when I become old. Makes sense for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a warm day, a nice day. The light was beautiful, and I cried a little bit. I do remember, I understand, I know why. And I, um, I got tired a little bit, and I laughed a little bit. I don't remember why, and stuff like this.
Have you had a show, like a character from a show that you really resonated with, that you thought this is the most like me that I've ever played?
No,
No.
no. I think I refer to myself as a professional. I wouldn't say it does exist a special character. That's not me. No sunt eu. No. Especially when I'm performing negative characters,
Hmm.
which I try to defend. For example, Medea, from the ancient mythology, Greek ancient mythology. It says something to you. You know what I'm speaking about. It is a legendary mythological character. Excuse me, she kills her children because,
Yes.
sorry, excuse me. So I was asked to perform, to play this character, and it was a very successful performance and in the early 90s. Okay, has nothing to do with me. Not I'm speaking now about Medea, but if I speak about wonderful, nice, sweet characters, it's also not me. I have a lot of dark sides and yeah, shadows and everything. No, it's not completely me, and it's not completely out of me. I try to find reasons and motivations and to defend the character and trying to understand with my mind, with my brain, with my logic, why. Although it sounds a little bit too psychological, okay, I take this risk, I assume, uh, to understand motivations.
Hmm.
She was jealous, she was abandoned, she thought she like this, although psychology has nothing to do with ancient Greek theater mythology, but okay. Now it's very in fashion to rewrite, to reconsider all the dramaturgy, all the writers and Chekhov and Shakespeare and everything. We are rewriting, which is, I don't, especially I don't know what will happen with Strindberg. Are you familiar with Strindberg? You know what I'm talking about?
I
No.
don't think, no.
Okay, never mind. One day you will write Strindberg and we'll have another podcast and we'll discuss the way he's blaming women. Well, he's judging. I don't know, blame, maybe it's not the right English word to be used. Judging, referring to women, woman guilt. Okay, in a family.
Hmm. Well, Maya, I was gonna say, do you um prefer theater to film for acting?
No, I wouldn't say I prefer because I'm working and I'm interested in discovering characters and the relations between characters and the dialogue between characters and the situation. So, uh, of course, the ways, the means I'm expressing myself in theater, in film, might be different, but the fundamental, the basis is the same.
Yeah.
The truth of the character.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say I prefer. It's interesting when we work in theater. Um, Mostly, generally speaking, we have more time, time to search the character, to try this and try that. And again, maybe this leads you to a special interpretation. You
Yeah.
start in a point and afterwards, depending according to your the partner or what the director says and how he sees and the meaning of the message of the play or the director vision, things could and would, and it's normal to change to take another path, another way. Usually, according to my experience, in films, in film, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, things are going a little bit faster.
Right.
According
Okay.
to my experience, it might be also different depending.
Do you being a Jew, and I remember the controversy actually with Passion of the Christ, all people talking about it being anti-Semitic and you kind of being the person that all the interviewers were asking, do you think, so forth. Um, Is it hard for you right now as a Jew seeing the conflict that's going on in Israel? Is that difficult for you? Or,
Actually, always was difficult. It was
yeah,
always because mainly the difficult and sad and people trying to feel me to make me like I should feel guilty or always being guilty for something. How could you dare? It was, I do remember. It's also a little parenthesis. It's also a little story in my monologue in the show. I told you about a journalist 20 years ago, 22 years ago, a lot of time, 100 years ago, calling me and how dare you? How could you? How did you agree uh, to perform, to work in this film? You being a Jew, how could you perform and uh, Miriam, Yeshua's mother? And my answer was, who, who else could perform? Why not me? Am I not an actress?
hmm,
Why shouldn't I play the character I performed? So I don't want to reiterate again all my speeches and my art, but always people are trying to feel me guilty, to make me feel guilty about you are guilty for this and you are guilty for that and you are no, I'm not guilty. I'm sad and I'm worried. Yes, I'm sad. And maybe nowadays, uh, as I said a few days ago, they shouldn't break our windows with stones, for example. In our state Jewish theater, it's not necessary to write anti-Semitic or threatens or I don't know what words on the walls.
they do that now.
Sorry.
You're
Yeah,
saying
it
they do that
happened.
now.
Not now. It happened. Not
Oh,
very often. It happened. We found, not even now, here, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 years, not very often, not only on uh, our walls in our theater. No, no. I post pictures with anti Semitic slogans in Romania. You couldn't believe. But there are much more subtle and dangerous speeches and issues like why do we need uh, Yiddish theater? Why do we need? Why should we speak Yiddish language anymore? We
hmm,
don't need anymore.
hmm.
It's bad. It's bad taste. It's old fashioned. Why should they exist as an institution? It's much more, it's dangerous as well.
Hmm. So,
Yes, there are anti-Semitic attacks. Yes.
but with the war that's going on in Israel now, I mean, as a Jew, how do you feel about the future for Jewish people? Because it seems like, I mean,
Well,
you have so much.
I'm not a politician. I'm not,
No, of course not.
no,
But you're a
what,
person.
uh, I'm living in Romania. Ukraine war is not very far from us, you know,
Yeah.
about geography. And uh, in my apartment now, I have an apartment and a house. In my apartment now in Bucharest are living a grandmother, a mother, and a son, a teenager, refugees. So I, 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 I do believe the word something terrible, terrible. For example, let me give you an example to understand me. Not only as a human being, I made a film. I'm not sure you are aware of. Not. Ulysses Gaze with Angelopoulos, with Theodoros Angelopoulos. The film was rewarded in Cannes a long time ago. And it was a war in Yugoslavia. Do you know about the war in ex-Yugoslavia? Of
Yeah.
course you know. And Angelopoulos insisted, and we managed, what else, what other word should I use, to work, to film, to travel during the war in Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is not far. Yugoslavia does not exist anymore. Um, okay, but it was war, a terrible war, 95 or something like this. And we were in the war, we were there. We experienced, and war is a terrible, terrible thing. I'm sad and worried, and I really hope for peace. It sounds a little bit no, it's not. I do remember my father. My father was a Holocaust survivor. He has his wounds. He has his night when he screamed. Oh, and I was a 5 years child. I didn't understand that it was years 65, 67. I was a child and I didn't understand the thing. Why is he screaming? Nobody is at the door. We were at home, and once of a sudden, Papa, my father, started to scream, to cry, speaking about transgenerational traumas. I didn't understand at that time. When I was old, I'm 62 now, almost 63. When I started to understand and to, what I do remember is something, it turned me very nervous and confused, and I was annoyed. And my father couldn't, this is my memory, my father couldn't end a story like we start with. It's a beginning, the middle, and the end. Another parenthesis and another, and then, and I ended up like, I, I was confused. So I had really to learn at school and to read afterwards. Soon, very soon, we have to commemorate a pogrom in Yash, 2730 of June. Do you know about this? Probably you know. And if you don't, we have to read and to learn. I'm not an historian. Jewish people in Yash, capital of, well, very important town of Moldova, part of Romania. People were asked the police station and tortured and killed. And, well, is a lot of, we have a lot of story to tell about this, and we commemorate this, and we should commemorate this every year in order not to forget, because I experience, and more sort of, yes, we are fed up with your stories, Gata, enough. It happened a long time ago. Basta. Let's move on. Let's speak about something else. I heard answer. I received reactions like this again and again. You start again with this story in 41, 1940. Basta. We are fed up. Let's speak about something else. I think we should commemorate the victims of Holocaust.
Why do you
No.
think it's important?
What do you think it's important? It's important. It's important to understand why things like that happened. To ask, I don't have an answer, of course. I don't have an answer, but to ask ourselves how it was possible, how it could happen. So, not to forget, not to forget. Uh, yeah.
Do you think in part it's important to remember because of the fact that it involves humanity committing an atrocity against itself, kind of thing? Because I mean, it's humans against humans, and humans are created in the image of God.
First of all, I first of all, I don't know. Second of all, what is first of all? Uh, uh, for me, it's important, even nowadays, how this sort of atrocity and violence and really lack of logic. Somebody tells you this person is guilty, they are guilty, they are guilty for they are the inferior race, and you start to believe. We clap because we have been told, because somebody we love very much or we admire or has a flamboyant personality, and we adore, we worship this personality, tells us, oh, so everybody knows. It's a sort of everybody knows. Who is everybody? Everybody says this is guilty and this is guilty. They poisoned the wells and who says? Everybody knows. Who says? What is a reason, the proof, the logic here? Everybody knows. So we boo because somebody tells us louder. It's nice. It's nice. It's a sort of, yes, it's interesting to see how many of us, well, now we are speaking, the person I'm speaking with, for nothing in the world I would harm, I don't know, Anne Frank, or how many of us would have had the courage to hide, to allow Anne Frank in their basement? I don't know. Because we are asking ourselves how it was possible. Trying to, that's why I think, in order, of course, to respect their memory, and in my family, I have victims of Holocaust, innocent victims, and children killed, died of hunger and misery in concentration camps or labor camps. And it's difficult for me to speak because, as I tell you, I'm not a historian. I'm not anthropologist. I'm not sociolog, or I don't know. But I try to understand psychologia maselor. How is in English? The group psychology, the society psychologia sociale. How is in English?
Mm, you're talking about the Germans or?
No, I'm speaking general, not the German. I'm not speaking about a population or another population. When you have no culture and you are hunger, and who says? Gandhi says the most terrible form of violence is poverty. The most cruel
Hmm.
is poverty.
Why do you
Uh,
think poverty is?
but I'm just trying to remember what Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, you
Oh,
know what I'm
okay.
speaking
Yes.
about.
Yes,
Okay,
Gandhi.
okay. Why? Because when you are, I was attacked. There are 3 nights ago. It was not even very late in Bucharest, not even very late. I had rehearsals, and it is summertime. It's not even very pleasant to go for a walk at 12 o'clock, in 11 o'clock in Bucharest. And I was attacked by a person very poor.
Hmm.
Attacked. He said, I'm hungry. What shall I eat? I'm trying not to interfere. I was afraid, but he was hungry. That's why I'm thinking also, I'm asking myself, poverty. Yes. So I'm not speaking about a population, a country. I'm speaking about psychology, social psychology. How it happens, how you turn from a nice, decent person into a person who can, for example, Kristallnacht. You know, I'm speaking of what I'm talking about. In the 38, they used to break windows and glasses and everything in November. It's because it's like what they do. Your neighbor's doing and you are doing, and a friend, and a sort of a disease. It spreads, a sort of, I don't know how to call it.
Do you think that do you think that people are naturally good and that it just takes some sort of ideology to take over for people to change and become bad or do bad things to people?
Uh, Honestly, yes, I do believe people, honestly, it's easy. It sounds maybe a little bit naive. Take this, I take the risk. Yes, I
Hmm.
think people, human beings, are good. They want to live. Uh, we need to live in groups. And yes, I think they are naturally born good.
Hmm. So that would make sense to me then that when you played Mary in The Passion of the Christ, you see acting as a profession, not something that you need to necessarily believe or connect in, because the story of Jesus coming to save sins, for you, I mean, Mary is a it's a part to play. It's not like you need to
Indeed,
believe the
everything.
story. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. It's how we work
yeah,
with Mr. Mel Gibson. From the beginning, he explained to me we are trying uh, to portray a character, a mother losing her son, her child.
yeah.
It's universal. It's everywhere. Yes. It's and like this, I'm working with all my characters, with all my um, theater plays, films, and scenarios, and everything.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you've had heartaches in your own life. I mean, yes, your parents went through the Holocaust, which is awful and hard. What is there something in your life that was hard that shaped who you are in some ways now?
Um, everything. Uh, I didn't have, and I don't want to have the experience my parents had,
Yeah.
because now I'm I'm old, and I. I'm very ashamed to say, but quite recently, I understood that Holocaust and the Second World War is not just issues and subjects for films and theater and novels and series and epoch and cars and no, no, I don't want for such an experience. I remember my father, he was very old and very ill. And I asked, I thought he was sleeping. Are you all right? What are you doing? And he said, although he was atheistic, you understood what I said. Atheistic.
He was autistic,
No, he didn't believe in God. How you
atheistic,
okay,
atheistic. Okay.
atheistic. Thank you. He didn't believe in God, his convictions. And I asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm praying for the peace of world.
Hmm.
Praying for the. It happened 20 years ago. What did we know? Cambodia and Vietnam wars, because it was a terrible war there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Far, far from us, far from me. So now I started to understand him, what he meant, and why it was so important for him to pray, at least to pray, although he was atheistic. How you say the word?
You said it. You did good.
Okay, okay, okay.
But
So
are you also atheistic like your dad?
yeah, this is a question to personal. My relation, how I relate it to divinity, it's something personal. I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then going back to the
yeah.
suffering part, was the hardest thing your dad dying for you? Was that the hardest thing you experienced?
No, but because I cannot compare.
I see.
I cannot compare my. Uh, uh, I suffered that, and you suffered that, and I suffered yesterday because I had a divorce yesterday, 10 years ago, and I suffered. I tried. I lost 30 kilos in 2 months. I suffered, but I cannot compare. You shouldn't compare my suffering with his suffering, with their suffering.
Hmm.
We should not compare
So
because
it's comparing, so sharing would be comparing to you?
no, no sharing. It's a question of trust. I don't want to be it's me. I don't say you should uh, live and work and behave like this. I don't want to be a burden for others. I don't want to pour my suffering on others.
I see.
Uh, you know, I don't want to blame others. I don't want to blame.
Hmm.
I'm trying to understand why I was not able to put an end to endure sufferance or another, an abuse or another from a director, let's say, a famous one, who put torture us, put pressure on us, feeling us young actors, feeling small and uh, insignificant and don't treat us like this. Teach us what to do. Tell us what to do. Don't tell me how bad how non-important I am. Why I was not able to say, stop, stop. I want to work. I want to learn. I want to be better. I want to develop myself and my tools and my means and the way I express myself. but don't squash me. I'm aware I don't know many things. Tell me what to do. Don't repeat that I'm nothing without you. And if you don't, I suffered. I'm asking myself today why I'm not uh, raised on two legs and said, this is double standard. Why? This is a difficult question.
What has life come to mean for you now at this point?
Sorry,
Because you
I didn't
you've
understand.
oh, you've lived for almost 63 years, right? So what has life come to mean for you?
Still not understand. I had
Um,
Yes, I had very difficult times during Ceausescu's times, during the communist regime. I was hungry. I experienced what it's like to be really hungry. Uh,
maybe Maya, maybe this is better. What is the meaning of life to you? Why do
oh,
you
okay,
live?
okay. To understand the meaning of life, now it's too philosophical. Uh, to understand what is yes and what is no, and what is I like, and what is I don't like, and what is I follow, and what is I don't follow, and what is maybe I shouldn't tell you my opinion, special on social media and stuff, but it's mandatory not to say something I don't like, I don't want, I don't agree, and just because you know you are on the good side. Mm, no, no. Um, Also, meaning of life, it could be self-respect, self-respect. But the thing, all the things I was speaking about, they have to do with self-respect. If I respect myself, why should why should I eat, swallow something I don't have to, especially I don't like.
Hmm.
Have to or not have to, metaphorically speaking, philosopher, but I don't like, I'm not obliged, I'm not forced. Nobody's threatening my children. Why should I speak, say, swallow, eat this? No, no. I stay in the shadow. It's better to stay in a shadow. I feel more comfortable than to swallow something I don't like. I don't like. I know what it means to be hungry, to be cold. I was freezing in my apartment. My child, my son, my older one, I have three children, was hungry. He was ill. We didn't have, I don't know, warm water. Um, but no, I didn't say things I didn't want to. I didn't sign things I didn't want to. No, no. I remember I was a student. I was a young, naive girl, 21, 22. My son was born. Okay, 21. And I had a discussion with my professor in the class as a student. And he became very nervous. And he told me, this is not your country. We were in Romania. I'm a Romanian citizen. And I respect the laws and the taxes and I don't know, the bills and everything. I'm a Romanian citizen. And we had this discussion and the fight and yes and no, like a student professor. And he started yelling at me and screaming, this is not your country. You go in your country. You go out from here, from this country. So, out.
From wait, from which
From
country he was telling you to leave Romania?
no, it was. I'm trying to translate in English word by word. Out. This is not. He told me. The big professor, the big guru, not a professor, but I do respect the professor in the university. Yes, my parents were also professors, so I was raised in the respect for the professor. Okay, I was raised like that. This is not your country, he told me. Get out of my country. Go out from here. Go in your country. You should leave my country. You go in your country. Hmm? Okay? In the university, in the studio, theater. Which country? What country? And I wrote a letter to the ministry and nothing happened. Nothing.
Hmm.
I do remember it was a commission. They started well, to look what happened in the university. I remember the big boss in the university with my letter, my paper I put in registered, and he, how you call it?
Tore it up?
Hmm?
He tore it?
Toward, like this. It was with my handwriting. He did like this, and like this, and like this, and throw it, and said, this letter does not exist. This issue does not exist. Okay? This is not a problem. This problem does not exist. Not, nobody bite me, nobody kicked me. No, they're just stories of my youth.
But this university was where?
In Bucharest, in Romania, there.
In Bucharest. But when the professor was saying to get out of my country, was he talking about Romania or his classroom?
No, country is not classroom. When somebody says uh, country is not classroom,
So he meant Romania.
it's up to you. I just tell you a story, and the conclusions are yours.
Hmm. But you don't know why he did that.
Because I was a bad student. Is it a reason enough to talk like this with a student? I don't think.
Hmm.
Hmm? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to know because there's a part of me, it's like I'm wondering if it's because you were Jewish and he didn't like that,
Eh,
or if it was
eh,
because
eh.
you were,
Yes, you
yeah,
are right. Yeah. Take
I
your
see.
time for an analysis to analysis this. You'll have your answers.
Well, I want to respect your time because I know that you have a
I have to go.
play. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
What do you think young women of today need to
Mhm.
know?
First of all, you have to know that I have I have a son and two daughters, and they are uh, young women, of course. My Kabiria is 25, and my Isadora is 21. So, so they have to respect themselves. They have to know exactly the meaning of yes and the meaning of no. Um, they have to defend their intimacy and their lives, and they have to be brave, courageous enough to speak up openly. Um, they they have to understand, like all people, especially all young people, what exactly they want to become. Uh, but especially for young, for we are living in Romania. Uh, we have still a traditional uh, way of thinking about a family, or I don't know. Um, I think they have to express their selves openly, honestly, with dignity, always respecting their dignity. For example, I'll give you an example. We are rehearsing, we are working, an actress, we are beautiful discourses like this, and women are, and, once of a sudden, a gesture or I don't know, words or joke, I react and I realize a young, very specially young actress, not known, not in the top of, wouldn't dare to react. It was a joke. No, don't, from a man or a director, I don't know. No, I don't allow in front of me. Oh, what a boring old fashion. Yes, I'm a boring old fashioned whatever, but I wouldn't allow you to make bad jokes in front of me with a young woman. Young.
Like sexual
No,
jokes you're talking about.
even, no, even jokes. A young woman wouldn't dare to react to even political. I better shut my mouth up. And I don't want conflicts, and I want trouble. I want to my job, and I want to work. I don't want to be difficult to express myself. Express yourself. Take this risk. It's difficult from my age and my position and my status, but if something like this happens in front of me, I would react. Because I remember when I was young, they made jokes sexual about my identity, Jewish, and I have to laugh like this.
Hmm.
Are you stupid? Don't you understand the joke? Or what was a joke? Why are you offended? Why do you react like? Because it hurts. I don't like. I don't want to cut your head off. No, but I don't like this. I don't like.
Hmm.
I feel bad. That's all. To express when something is the meaning of yes and no.
Well, Maya, I want to thank you because I mean, I think that's profound. I think that's a good thing for everyone to do. Um, but I think especially for young women, that is encouraging and truthful. And I thank you for sharing that and also for sharing some of your story and I know expressing what you can about your life. And so
Absolutely.
thank you for doing that.
Thank you. All the best, and thank you for the interview.